Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakathon to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar and Thon Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. This is the Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under the leadership of Commander General Yohana, started out of 125th 1 West, New York. Started from Abba Bivens. He passed his troop down to the Seven Heads. And the Seven Heads passed it down to Commander General Yohana. And since then, we've been doing this since 1969, teaching and bringing our family, our Israel, 12 tribes, Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans together, together to, be a nation. When the Most High, Shalom, sis, when the Most High said he would put us above all families in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, he said the only way he could do that is we come together. The scripture said, gather ourselves together, come together as a family. And also when Yahweh Shai came back, came and walked on this earth, he also said he came for the lost sheep of Israel. To teach us how to conduct ourselves as a family, which is, again, this is the Brotherhood class. I was just sitting here holding it down for the priest and officer in the Haryala, and again, this is the Brotherhood class. When we talk about Brotherhood, we're also talking about the sisters as well. When Yahweh Shai, he said that men submit to Yahweh Shai, the Most High is the head of Yahweh Shai is the head of us. And then we are ahead of the woman, and the woman ahead of the children. I'm going to pass the class over to the priest and officer in Haryala.
Shalom. Y'all Shema Thabah Shem Yahweh Shai. Sis. Shalom Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah to the brothers. We have another Brotherhood class. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the leadership of Commander General Yohana. We've been spreading this truth since 1969. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are God's chosen people. You are the Israelites that the Bible talks about. And we're here to bring this truth and this light to our people who are walking in darkness. And again, it's the Brotherhood class, but we need these constantly because that's the number one important thing in Israel, brotherhood. And it is a weapon for us. We do use it as a weapon. We do use it for our people to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Because without proper brotherhood, we see the position that we're in today in America. We see our condition amongst each other. So even when we start organizations and coalitions with each other, and wickedness in the world, the brotherhood always destroys it. And it's always the lack of brotherhood that destroys it. Not so the brotherhood, the lack of so. So even for instance, the Black Panthers Party, they had a brother and he wasn't even genuine about the whole, and then they make movies about this to let it be known because it's the best story. A man and another man become top together and one snick the other man up, or one turns his back on the other man and they turn into enemies. Remember in New Jack City, the dude started getting hot. His man started getting high, and that caused them to become enemies. So it's like more so lack of brotherhood, and instead of trying to correct the brother or anything, like we lack correction as well, because not to say everything is gonna go perfect in whatever you're doing, especially if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. Everything is not going to go perfect while you're doing it, but correction is the key. To be corrected is the perfection. You know what I'm saying? So constant correction will lead to perfection because now you've been told so much It's just like school. I mean, some kids don't ever get it, but some kids get it enough. Wow. Yeah, some kids get Shalom priest. How about Shabbat? Some kids just never get it right, but them other kids, man, all it takes is a couple corrections, and they good. It's a while. They good to go. But we are like babies, so always consider us as kids, and it's true because we always need to be corrected, and it perfects us. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the order structure is so important. It's so important for you to have men that can hold you accountable for your actions. Because a lot of times in the streets, on the internet, we hide behind computers, we hide behind Facebook accounts, we hide behind Instagram, where no one can check you. No one could say, oh, that wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could help you be a better brother, but it is the way of life, though. You know what I'm saying? It is a way to be productive in the eyes of the Most High as well, because the Most High, paraphrasing, he said, a man who sits amongst wise men as counselors or counsel, he's gonna be successful. You know what I'm saying? His work is gonna do good. And you always want that counsel from brothers that fear the Most High, just like you, because like even our forefather Job, man, things wasn't going right for him. He instantly had counsel. Them men instantly came in. You know, I'm not saying they always Israelites or they always in the truth, but they all came in and gave their peace. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was right or wrong, but you always have to have that brotherhood to stick it in together, because a lot of times we don't have nobody. We is our brother. We is in our own counsel is what matters. But the Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things, and we just be deceiving ourselves, thinking we're gonna tell ourselves what to do right. No, if that's the case, everything you do is right. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a state in America today where we need brotherhood at an all-time high, and we haven't been getting it. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Isupk, we are so important, because we are starting to build that back within our community, within the Black community, the Hispanic community, the Native American community, because within all of these communities, it's a lack of brotherhood. It's a lack of standing on something, because even in the streets, like, we stand on, like, mind your business. Like, even if you know a brother doing something wrong, like, we all know them stick-up kids in the hood. Nobody trying to tell that brother, yo, listen, man, stop robbing everybody, man. Everybody looks at him like, oh, all right, man, that's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Because even after he do his little things, he come back and pass out a couple stolen dollars. You know what I'm saying? Buy a couple bottles for the people who ain't never got it. You know what I'm saying? But instead of correcting him and saying, yo, brother, even the men above him won't even do it for fear that he might turn around and rob them. So they'll keep edging them on. Yo, what do you need? What do you need? And this is in all of our communities, because we all have those type of people that grow up, and we won't stand up and say, yo, nah, that's wrong, man. That's wrong. Like I used to do that. I used to be the friend to do that, and I learned early to stop doing it, because that was what the brotherhood and my community taught me. Don't do that. Don't stop a brother when he about to book something. Don't stop him when he about to pop something. Let him do that. He gonna do that. Don't be the good man. And it's like a saying in the streets, we got the good men don't survive. You know what I'm saying? The good don't survive. And you get ate up for trying to do the right thing. And it's like peer pressure. And our community suffers that the most because we don't have no leaders. We don't have no leaders that's actually doing that. We're the ones who's trying to lead to do that. And our people look at that as soft, like, man, we got another saying, we only respect violence. We don't respect violence. And we know it to be, it's our truth, because we know that to be true. Jake don't respect nothing else. Why do you think we respect Esau so much? Because he's nothing but violent towards us. You know what I'm saying? He's violent towards us, and you get the respect. He bomb a city, one of our cities, and we do nothing but try to accept him, bring him in. You get what I'm saying? But we need to do that amongst ourselves without the violence. We need to just do it with the scriptures. Yo, according to this, you're wrong. You get what I'm saying? So we got a story that happened a couple of days ago where a brother was beating up a female and her son shot him. And it's like everybody is trying to battle. Go ahead.
Salakia. I had to bring this out just because of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a training class today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who cares? It was an Edomite. Edomite was falling out of this chair. And the brother started laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Everybody turned like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Edomite got upset and mad. Upset and mad that the brother's laughing at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, oh, what you getting mad at? What you getting mad for?
Mm-hmm.
If anybody else fell, I would have did the same thing. You know what happened? The sister came to his defense.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, if it was a girl, you gonna laugh at her? He's like, you goddamn right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna laugh, you know what I'm saying? Because it's funny. Like, why is you sticking up for this man?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, why is you sticking up for him? That whole respect of person.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is that, you know, we can't even just let our own, you know what I'm saying, just stand up for our own selves. She had to come defend the white man.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we gotta stop doing, because we'll flip it to make it, you know, okay for one, but not okay for the other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, he wrong for laughing at a female? So what? He laughed at the male, he just laughed at the female. This ain't got nothing to do with race.
Yep.
But yet, you know what I'm saying? You know, we can't, oh, okay, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong, right? That's so messed up, man.
And we find ourselves doing that amongst the other nations as well. You know what I'm saying? We be quick to do that. But when it comes to who killed such and such, like, we act stupid. You know what I'm saying? We the number one people that act stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not for snitching or nothing like that. Don't get twisted. I ain't with none of that. I'm just saying the right or wrong aspect of it and the upholding each other, like as far as correction.
It's a lot.
Go ahead.
There's nothing wrong with protecting the community.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta make that clear. There's nothing wrong with protecting the community, right? When it comes to our children, it ain't snitching, you know what I'm saying? When you're telling on, you know, somebody that's molesting children. It's not snitching, you know what I'm saying, when, you know, somebody, you know, beat up, you know, a defenseless woman, of course, that's not snitching. You know what I'm saying? Let's make that distinction, because a lot of people will take that, what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh, see, the Isupk, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm gonna stand up for those who can't defend themselves. That's what we do. That's our job. That's brotherhood, to stand up for those who can't defend themselves. You go ahead and break it down.
And it's like they teach us that early, that don't say nothing, don't see nothing, don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind your business. And even if it's like a deadly situation, like even if it's like a real, like a bad, like life or death, you know, and we ain't with the snitch attorney win, or like the other groups do. He said we snitch. That's what I hear. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just to bring them to a light, the correction and the instruction, the way we go about, and as a community, we don't have none of that. We lack that. And then when it comes to the other nations, we'll jump in the way of a bullet for it. You know what I'm saying? Like Salakia, but like before I forget, but like don't be a menace. Remember the Edomite woman tripped. The Edomite woman and the Eve woman, they both tripped at the same time. He jumped in the way, jumped in front of a bullet for her. Like it's just crazy. Go ahead.
What you're saying, I mean, it's heavy too, because it kind of like showed how much we oppressed that day.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, a lot of people would sign up for the Army of the United States,
Mm-hmm.
but be hesitant and question coming to him and actually became be a part of the Army of the World.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think Hyman was bringing up, I forgot the exact word, but like it was a sort of a kind of racism.
Internalized racism.
To where we pick up their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we won't stand up for them. We won't stand up for them and go against our own people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's another form of saying it. I mean, it's all oppression. You know what I mean? To where like, we got the mentality to hate our own and find a way for them to love us.
And what you bringing out is deep too, because they did a study on it. Like it was a woman who was kidnapped and raised in the basement. They got a movie based on the story, The Girl in the Basement. Remember, he raised the girl in the basement for like 20, 30 years. and she loved him. She learned to love him, and they did studies on it. On the real story, they did studies on kidnappers and the relationship between the people they kidnapped. And what you'll find out is, contrary to popular belief, the kidnapped end up being in love with the kidnapper in the way that he was taking care of them, because they will abduct somebody young, raise them up under these strict, horrible conditions. By the time they get old and the police come and it's time to free them, they don't even want to be free. And it's the same relationship we have, right?
Yeah, that's what do they call it? It's not post-traumatic stress, is it?
Like almost like it's that, and it's like almost like Stockholm syndrome.
Right, Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
It's the psychological effect.
Mm-hmm.
If I tickle you every time I press on a wound that is very painful, essentially at some point in time you're going to associate pleasure from that pain because I kept tickling you. You get joy from the tickling sensation, of course, though. You get laughter, you get endorphins, whatever else, though. Eventually, you don't feel the pain, that's causing you harm. And that's the thing that we have to learn to overcome, of course. Just like, not to get too far off, but like, we'll look at what Tyler Perry has been doing. Tyler Perry has, 7 studios and whatever else, but yet he has this thing where he has internalized hatred for ourselves. His success came from putting on a dress, yet he was raised up in a church. Tyler Perry was molested as a little boy, correct?
I believe so.
Tyler Perry, Donnie McClurkin, you know what I'm saying? We can go on and on, you know what I'm saying, with the list of names of people in the Christian church who did not get correction because nobody stood up for them. Nobody showed that brother like you bringing out right now. You understand? Like, it's so important that we talk about what you're doing right now, what you're talking about right now, to fix the issues that ail us as a community. Because otherwise, we start to associate pain and suffering as something that is normalized and becomes something of pleasure. Instead of what it is, it's a warning. The suffering of a loved one that just was shot and killed in the streets from selling drugs. How many? I mean, we can go on and on.
And then the first of the month come and the food stamps come out, and we forget. So it's like the other one was bringing out. It's like we take pleasure in pain because it's all psychological. And before we were freed off the plantation, our oppressor did millions and billions of dollars worth of study on the mind, because again, he don't believe in the Most High. He don't believe in these scriptures. He believe in his sciences and his theories and his how the world views certain things, especially the brain. And not to say that any of those things are wrong, but to trust in that over the Most High, you got to be a fool. But he does, and he knows our condition, and we don't know who we are. That's the number one messed up condition we in. 2, we trust in the oppressor. And when it's time for us to be corrected amongst ourselves, we want to correct ourselves on the view of how the oppressor will correct us. Oh, them niggas are broke. Oh, they're evil. Oh, get a job. That's how we view everything. Black people, I'm going to just speak for my family alone. They equate every problem with a job, church, you know what I'm saying? And that's really it. A job and church. You need a job. You need to go to church. Every problem is summed up in those 2. And that's how the oppressor views us. But, okay. Let me get the book of Matthew chapter 18. Oh, matter of fact, Salaki, give me Proverbs chapter 6. And this is how the oppressor views us. He views everything by church and a job. You get what I'm saying? Because these are the things he has the power over. We have no power of it, but we do have the power to go into these scriptures and do what it says do. That's the power that we have, and we don't do that. Because if we went into these scriptures, we'll say, dang, the Most High said a man shouldn't put on women's clothing. And we'll start holding Tyler Perry accountable, like, well, what about this scripture? It says this. Well, why are you doing this? And you'll find out that Christianity doesn't really believe in the scriptures. They believe in the oppressor, the person who brought them to break down in the scriptures. because they veer away from all of these scriptures and all of that. And that just shows you the lack of unity we have amongst ourselves, which is brotherhood. Because if we can't come together and say, okay, it's right for a man not to wear a dress. Any man we see wearing a dress, let's hold him accountable to that. So we got Young Thug coming out. Mind you, he was tough when he came out. He sounded a little weird, but he was tough. He was a thug. Blood, you know what I'm saying? He was supposed to take Lil Wayne place. And then he came out with the dress. And we said, a couple people were trying to hold him accountable. Me, myself was one, but I lost to the world. And the world said, you know what? That don't mean he's an alternative lifestyle just because he wear a dress. You know what I'm saying? Then he came out with the purses. You know what I'm saying? Then they said, well, you know he keep his gun in his purse. And I'm like, okay, all right, let me just give up with the battle and this stuff. And it's like we held a whole no type of accountability according to the scriptures. So
So like it.
go ahead.
So like you ain't take no loss to that. You know what I'm saying? Because what you talking about and what you battling, you know what I'm saying, was the same thing that Lil Wayne had a battle, but yet he lost. You understand? He give accounts and stories of, you know, the baby and, you know, whatever was going on back then that we didn't know about. What's the brother, you know what I'm saying, Captain Tazariot goes back and forth with all Poppy, you know what I'm saying? How African Bambaataa, you know what I'm saying, molested those children and whatever else though. These are what? Hip hop, you know what I'm saying, icons, people who are influential in, you know what I'm saying, the industry that has an impact on our lives, of course, though. So wait, so now does that mean police officers are going to start walking around with purses? Does that mean, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, every brother that's out here in the streets going to walk around with purses? Like, I just saw, you know what I'm saying, a Steve Harvey thing where they did a survey asking 100 women what would they like to see Steve Harvey in. You know what the answer was? A dress. The number one answer was a dress. So it's not that you lost. You ain't lose. You ain't lose nothing. Of course, you know what I'm saying. What you are doing is you are fighting against. You know what I'm saying. As the scripture says, you know, flesh and blood, principalities. You know what I'm saying. All things of wickedness. That's what you're fighting against, though. And we have to stand firm in that. Of course, though, stand sound on the scriptures. This is the foundation that other brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, are lacking. And you are doing an excellent job, you know what I'm saying, by going out and battling. Don't give up. Don't stop. Keep going at it, of course, though. When it seems all hope, you know what I'm saying, when all hope is gone, what will happen is you'll lose the battle the moment that they turn, something happens, and they'll say, well, you didn't tell me. You didn't warn me. You understand? What you are doing is you are crying aloud. You're crying aloud. You're warning the people of the destruction that awaits them. That's true brotherhood. You are sacrificing the time that you would spend with your family, with your loved ones, the same as Yahushua did. So you ain't take a loss at all, man. And you got your brothers right here who's going to stand with you and make sure, you know what I'm saying, that you keep, you know what I'm saying, fighting this battle. You understand?
And I always is like that though. I always against all that weird stuff. Like even when this whole skinny pants stuff came out, like, whoa, nah. And everybody started wearing them. Nah, you know. And when I say I lost, I just mean like the world, like kind of like the scriptures say, love not the world and the things in it. And or if you was of the world would accept his own. You know what I'm saying? And the conformity is so powerful because like they did another study where they had like 50 people in a room and 49 people knew exactly what was going on and one person didn't. And they will ask him, you know the thing I'm talking about, the experiment.
Well, the most recent one was the jury duty.
Oh, I ain't see that one, but I know they started making them recent because it's really true. So they'll ask them a question, ask everybody a question, like something stupid, like, okay, is the sky red or blue? And everybody will say the wrong answer. And then when they get to the person that don't know, he'll say the right answer at first. And then when they go around again, by the time they go around twice, he looking at everybody and he just agree with them. Like, well, yeah, man, maybe it's red. And it's like a conformity test. And we conform so fast. And like, I even conform to literal jeans. I ain't conformed to no person, no dress though. And then the other day, I seen Lil Baby in a dress. And I said, what? The tough guy? I mean, not a dress locket, a purse. He had the purse, not a bag, a purse wrapped around it, Louis Vuitton. They say, yo, he keep money in it. He got a whole bunch of money in the purse.
Salakia, explain to me why Drake done painted his nails. You know what I'm saying? And he made the one pinky a different color. Like, good night. I don't know. Was it a pinky, whatever? Like, explain to me. You know, how is that? You understand? And I mean, he messed up. You know, he effed up the moment that he went out there and said 21. Come on now. I feel violated every time I hear the song. I feel violated to my core. Every time I hear that song, it's just like, how can you put that out there? The cadence, the rhythmic, you know what I'm saying, melody behind it, you know, it puts you in a trance, of course, though. And without you realizing it's the Will Smith and whatever the white girl name was, you know, it's the programming that they'll do. You see the number 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. Before you know it, you're going to vote for the what? Number 21.
Oh, I seen that movie. Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
But that's psychological warfare.
Yeah.
So you listen to you listen to our hip hop artists, you listen to rappers, you listen to, you know, your R&B, you listen to the BET Awards, you look into what's the Grammys, Oscars, and all that stuff. And every time you see us, we are in a position that's very compromising. So you keep bringing this information out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important that you bring this information out, though, because we are constantly compromising. And here in the ISUK, we don't compromise.
No, Salakia, we don't compromise. And that's what makes our fight against the world even struggle. Like, before, I didn't know even what I was battling against, but I do now. And you got the precept, you can call it out, Baba Kashah. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. And this the foundation of brotherhood and the foundation of unity as a nation. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing for sure, like, we in the low state, but the Lord have not forgot about us. He gave us the light. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. And in the ISUPK, we take that light and show it out to the world, no matter how bright it is. You gotta always look at everything from like a metaphorical approach. When we say light, it's not like a literal lamp. But when somebody is walking in the darkness, say you in the dark, you sleeping, and somebody flicked the light on real quick, it hurts your eyes at first. Like, you kind of gotta move away from it for a minute. And that's how it is when it comes to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Once we tell our people they can't eat pork, whoo, like, it's too bright for them. And then being around it, then it started to make more sense. Then next thing you know, like Cap said yesterday, he said, man, I got a red. This man said, I got a red. It grows on you because now you used to it. Your eyes get adjusted to it. And that's why this Bible is so heavy, because even the parables and the similitude is so relevant to now. Like, you can't, like, even when these lights in our face, sometimes we like, whoa, boom. But after a minute, it becomes normal. You get adjusted to it. And that's the same thing with the commandments. So you can call it out when you got it, Baba Kashah.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. More Akians or Aquafians have
Put it in the chat. Go ahead, you read.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp.
Is a what?
Is a lamp.
For the commandment is a lamp. So a lamp, something like a light in the thing that you hold around. You hold around so everybody can see. And like, if you walking in darkness, when you see that lamp, when they see us, they're like, man. When we say we don't like we don't deal with the other nations. When we at camp, we say we don't deal with the other nations. You gotta see some brothers that shake their head when we say Christ is black. They should, because the commandment is too bright for them. And then people who've been around and heard it, they'll stop and they'll be like, okay, yeah, they'll sit there. They'll nod their head. They'll agree because this lamp is for you to see. It's not for everybody else to see. It's for you to see. You know what I'm saying? If you in the crib and you turn on the light, is the light for everybody to see in the world? No, it's for everybody in the house to see. So we got to hold this light up and bring it to Israel. That's brotherhood. That's unity. That's what we need, because otherwise we in darkness. A brother kill a brother. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Oh, well, food stamps coming next month. You know what I'm saying? We about to finish and do whatever we do. Like I don't want to bring it out. We turn it from pain to pleasure, because no matter how anybody can say how whatever, when we lose a brother, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Whether you know that brother or not, it hurts. When you watch that George Floyd tape, it hurt. Damn. And he 5, 6, 7 states away. You watch any of those tapes, any of those videos, it hurt. And like the most recent one with the dude and the woman, he was beating the woman up and her son shot her. And it's so unfortunate because now the internet is like the battlegrounds. That's where the war is going on. The spiritual warfare is going on in the internet, because everybody's picking a side. So you got some people saying the dude wrong, the woman wrong, the little boy wrong. Everybody want to pick a side who's wrong, but we never try to take accountability and correct the situation, because you got brothers that was just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
What you bring on is heavy, because that's what I've seen as well. Mm-hmm. So one brother, he leaving the store, he walking out the restaurant, and I mean, like you said, for the outside looking in, well, not and put yourself in a situation to where, a lot of us was raised by just a woman, so we take on that protective, mentality thing, and I mean, and then we lack the men. I mean, righteous men. So now we get the truth. We actually see how to protect our family and see righteous men. If we won't see them. Seeing a man just hit a woman like that, I mean, that's wrong as well. And then just seeing, again, how it's the whole disorder in a man, woman, and a child, because now you see the woman don't have no respect for a black man, the black man don't have no respect for the black woman, and then only innocent people are really the child. And they're going to pick up from each one how to react. And then he go in there, a lot of boys is going to choose to protect their mother. So it just shows the lack of brotherhood in the man, woman, and child as a family.
And correction as well, because like these people who witnessing these things need to be corrected as well, because like if you know that could cost him his life, that could cause whether he escalate or whether it's not, whether he mess up, it could cause him to pull him to the side. Shame. Then you got our people on the internet making jokes about it. They think it's funny. They said Slovakia, they say he went from getting a burger to having wings. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's no type of compassion or way of dealing with each other, thus saith the Lord in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Because we're supposed to deal with each other out of love. Love is correction. Love is wanting to see a brother doing good. In our case, we just got to live. And let us be alive first. Let's focus on living. And then we can focus on what you do while you live and getting set up with a nice job, getting set up with a nice rib, coming into the school, coming into the knowledge of yourself, of your people, of the Most High. And, other than that, but the foundation is living. You know what I'm saying? We dying. He was 32. He's my age. He was my age. And I look at it like, and I tell the Akim all the time, once you make it to 30, like, dang, like, you accomplish a lot. And you still got to walk on eggshells to get to 40. You know what I'm saying? And brother, he unfortunately, his discipline wasn't enough, and nobody ever told him, yo, listen, you gotta control your spirit, man. Because he was all over the place. He wanted to do it, then he didn't want to do it. He wanted to do it, then he didn't want to do it. Then he was talking to himself. Then he was telling her, just get your food and leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Because we battle those things every day. We battle the old man, the new man, and some of us just give in to the old man, even though we know it's wrong, but
well, yeah. The difference, saying of all this comes from those that have been raised up in the ISUPK, right? We don't have to walk on eggshells for nobody. You understand? Because we'll learn, you know what I'm saying, to fight the battles according to the scriptures. And we also know that we have, you know what I'm saying, the righteousness of the Most High on our sides. The angels, you know what I'm saying, to give the spirit for a brother to step in. Hey, man, don't worry about that old lady over there, you know what I'm saying? Now he picks the fight. Because a lot of brothers and sisters, they'll be out there scared, feared for themselves. You understand? They'll be afraid. Well, I got to make it. Well, if I, you know what I'm saying, then he would have beat on me. That's, you know what I'm saying, where that spirit of fear, you know, comes upon us, of course, though, right? And of course, you know, the brother was fighting that demon, obviously, and he fell. Absolutely horrible. You know what I'm saying? The demon wanted him to die. And that's what it exceeded at. He's now dead. He is unalived, of course, though. That demon, you know what I'm saying, got the victory when you had all these brothers and sisters who could have stepped in. Who could have had, you know, stepped in and said something, of course, though. The brother said something. He said,
he said they believe in the world. Nah, Kyle Khan. People believe in the world and the YOLO, you only live once philosophy was proved to Christianity. And like you bringing out, that's what it is. And he ain't about to kill me. He ain't about to hit me. He ain't about to, but it's a law in the Bible that says you can't even suffer blood on your own people and just sit there and watch. Like, that's heavy, man.
So if you remember, Cap was bringing out last night. He was talking about, you know what I'm saying, where was he at? Hosea? What was Hosea about?
Playing no king.
The Hosea, you know what I'm saying, is about salvation. Salvation, you know what I'm saying, to the Jews. We are a people, you know what I'm saying, who is what? No longer his people. We don't have the spirit of the Most High. We have taken on the spirit to abandon our brothers, right? Your topic right now is brotherhood. They show absolutely no brotherhood, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to their own brothers. And that's because of that division that has been put in place. We have given ourselves to other nations, to other gods, to other doctrines, to other philosophies. So now, of course, though, we won't even stand up for our own people. His rib should have at some point said, baby, that's enough. That's enough.
Salagia, she said, I told you. Once he swung first, the first time he swung, she said, I told you. And it's just like, I guess she was trying to warn the girl prior that, yo, this dude he ain't really rap type. You know what I'm saying? But like the other ones bringing out, it's like we felt horribly because one, we don't know the battle that we're under. We don't know that spiritual attack we're under where a brother is really going through it. And two, the sister, she was fighting the demon as well too. That demon is shut up because she edged it on. Her food been done. Her food was done. She was holding up the line, going back and forth with him. And they said she texted her son to go get the grip and come in the store. So she must have wanted it to happen and must have wanted it to happen either or. A situation arise where now we lose a man and a woman and a child that's scarred. Like I was bringing out, like that's the whole structure right there. Man, woman, and child. That's the whole structure, and we fell horribly at it in the sight of the world. Now, like as far as like the light, that wasn't it. That was darkness. You know what I'm saying? And that's the typical average incident that happens in the hood. Everybody watch. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, we will pick and choose. If it's like somebody that we think we can get up, like get one up on, we'll step in to do right and beat them up. You know what I'm saying? If somebody getting jumped, we'll jump in. No, ain't no fair one. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no jump in and get the fair one. Get the fair one. We selective with it, but we not consistent with it, like according to the scriptures, because we just moving off of like honestly like selfishness. A lot of brothers they feel like they can get one up on them. They'll jump in and help. Like, yo, I'm get one up for my own glory, but not for just to stop it. And something, don't get me wrong, it's good-hearted brothers out there without the knowledge of the truth, but we talking about as a whole, because everything is gonna happen to us as a whole anyway. We went into slavery as a whole. It wasn't just two brothers that went into slavery and everybody watched the shit go away and say, yo, nah, we all went. Man, woman, child. So we all need these scriptures. You can finish the scriptures. For the commandment is a lamp
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
And the law is what?
Is light.
And the law is what?
Is light.
And the law is light. The law is light. And we know when it comes to Christianity, that's the last thing they want to talk about is the law. That burn their eyes for sure. They like, But I done heard one Christian say, why are you trying to put me under bondage? They think the law is bondage. The Bible says the law is light, so you can see, so you can stop coveting after your brother and what he got, what you think you can't have on your own without taking it from him. You know what I'm saying? To stop committing adultery. You know what I'm saying? To stop stealing, to stop killing. Because if little bro knew that murder was a sin, he wouldn't have killed him. You know what I'm saying? Our people don't even know the basic sins. And I'm saying our people because I was once the basics we don't even know. Like we don't even know what sin is. And we just do it. We transgress these laws because we living in darkness. Nobody can see. I'm saying if she knew that opening her mouth makes her clamorous, and the Bible says a foolish woman is clamorous, simple, she know of nothing. She knew that was the characteristic she would put on. She maybe would have shut up or something. She maybe would have like, you know where you right. If he knew he was more than just a nigga, maybe he would have held himself in a higher regard and just ignored it. Got his food and left. You know, and all of our people need to be held accountable when a situation like this because we here. So we gotta live for the future. What you gonna do in that predicament? What you gonna do? Because everybody in the comments, everybody online, everybody making their videos, they snitching, everybody saying, yeah, the kid did what he had to do, and da 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 da. But look at all aspects of it, because we are gonna judge the world. We are gonna judge amongst each other. We gotta be able to judge small matters. Like even not say this is a small matter, but it's big in our community. But even something as little as this, like, oh, all right, man, everybody need to get checked. Everybody needed checking. I'm saying the charges was dropped today, this morning, I believe, and the internet went in an uproar. Our people went in an uproar. Oh, she just got away, and a lot of people don't even see him. Well, it's not that they don't see him wrong. They didn't feel like he deserved to be put to death for it. You know what I'm saying? Death is serious. Like ultimately, like the other one was bringing out, death so much it becomes like nothing to us. Like it's like nothing to us. Like I'm 30. I forgot how old I was. I'm about his age, but I said I don't celebrate birthdays. But you know, everybody dead. Saying all that childhood stuff, everybody dead. Some people lost their noodles. Like I'm talking about a high percentage is dead. It's dead. I got an Edomite, my slave. He said he called out of work for 2 weeks due to depression. I asked him one day, I said, why are you depressed? He said, man, when I was 15, my dad died. And that made you depressed? He said, yeah. I said, well, our dad's dead every day. We don't even know our dad. I'm like, you got to try being one of us. And we don't even see it as depression. Even though we are depressed as a people, but it becomes normal. It becomes laughable. Like we laugh at jokes with black men being fathers and stuff like that. We laugh at that stuff because it's so true, and our pain has now become like the comedian. He had a whole segment, laugh at my pain, and that's us. That's us. We think it's funny. We think it's funny. Our shorties got to go and buy East Indian hair, Brazilian hair. Moabite hair. We think it's funny. We'll laugh and all that, but seriously, that's a serious issue. Like, you really gotta go do that every week, every 2 weeks. You're not comfortable with your own. Like everything that was in our community has been turned into laughter, a joke, a meme. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead.
Yeah, so I get not to cut you off and nothing like that. How many of y'all, I don't know, y'all might be too young for this one though. The movie Lean on Me. Crazy Joe Clark, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody remember Crazy Joe Clark. The significance of that movie is like a reflection of us as a people, right? At one point, we were a great people, a great nation. Joe Clark, you know what I'm saying, is like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. Guess what happened? A gift was given to the teachers. Joe Clark got sent off to school 6. You know
what I'm saying? This is a true story, by the way.
Oh, what?
This is a true story. Eastside High in New Jersey, you know what I'm saying, was actually one of the top schools in the nation. Until, you know what I'm saying, he was essentially removed from that school. Over the next, you know what I'm saying, 20 years, it declined drastically, where it was essentially looking like a war zone. And that's us, you know what I'm saying, as a people, of course, though. We went from being a great nation, a great people, of course, though. Exactly, right? Nah, that's not Tracy Morgan. That's Morgan Freeman, man. The Black Jesus. Well, you know, the first Black Jesus, whatever, until he went on vacation. But Tracy Morgan. But the story, you know what I'm saying, that lack of leadership, that lack of, you know what I'm saying, discipline and everything else was removed, you know what I'm saying, from it. And then when things got tough, oh, I got somebody. Crazy Joe Clark came back on the scene. And he said, I need a list of everybody that's the problem. And you know what he did? He removed it. He separated it, which is so significant, you know what I'm saying? Because we won't separate ourselves. We won't, you know what I'm saying, remove the problem. We want to cleave to the problem. We want to stay and be accepted and be a part of it. So once the problem got removed, well, now we can start working on the rest. Oh, I'm going to teach everybody. Everybody's going to know the school song, right? Just like every single one of us should know the law, statute, commandments of the Most High.
Give on my hand.
Every single one of us should know how to have brotherhood. You understand? That's what we should be teaching and instilling into our children so that they don't stand by. You understand? It's all good and well to laugh, ha, 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 he, whatever else, though, till it's your mom, you know what I'm saying, that's getting her head beaten. You understand? So it's your brother that's getting shot and killed because he had an episode or whatever else. Everybody's good with all that. But Lean On Me, he came in and he gave the law. He was stern. He had to listen a little bit, but he gained the hearts of the people because he corrected and protected them. The same way that we will protect our children. Oh, y'all think murder's okay? Nah, we gonna talk about that. Lock them up. Let everybody know, you know what I'm saying? Let the you know, the law, the Constitution, you know what I'm saying, and the fullness of it fall upon, you know what I'm saying, whoever's committing murder, whoever's, you know what I'm saying, you know, doing the drugs, whoever's doing the rape, whoever's doing the molestation, of course, though. Everything that is destroying us as a people, let the law, you know what I'm saying, hit it as best as possible, of course, though. And perhaps that will cause us to what? To wake the hell up and change. Salaki.
And it's crazy because we wait for them and their law, but it don't hit the same when it's from us. Like, I got sentenced to a black judge, and man, it just hit me different. The things he was saying to me, like, damn, yo, your next time it's gonna be this, that. I'm like, whoa, why you? And because we need each other to hold ourselves accountable. We need each other to hold this law as this is gold. We can't wait for the Edomite laws and all of that stuff and them to enforce it, because there's some somebody here that don't really even care about you. You know, he really actually wants you to keep committing these crimes so he can keep his job. Because ask homicide if they want homicides to stop. No, they get paid good. They won't actually want them to keep coming, because then when the news come, not a lead homicide detective, he gets a whole little segment to himself and glory to himself, and the chief of police and everybody gets raised up and all these stuff like that because of this homicide. Now, if that stopped, that will stop. But like the other one's bringing out, like, we need this correction. Oh, you can finish off the scripture too. And the law is light.
And reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So, like, we got to take this as a lifestyle, like constantly, until you ain't got to get reproof. Slow. I'm saying, come on, we got to keep it up, because that's the only way to make us great again. Like, that's why Yahweh Shai, his disciples, like, He was on them. He was on them. He was checking them every moment, checking them, making everything a teachable moment for them and for us to come along later on and read. You go drop that. You give me Matthew chapter 18. Everything was a teachable moment because even the disciples had a certain view of life and how things should be going and the scriptures and according to us, because remember, we never had the spirit behind the law. We was living to the letter. We was living to the verbatim. We never had the understanding. That's why Yahushua was speaking damn near gibberish to most of the people. They like, what is he saying? They didn't have no clue because they don't understand the scriptures. A lot of the time, the scriptures were being taught by men above to the people below, and everybody didn't have access to them. You know what I'm saying? You had to come to the temple. You had to come to see these things. Everybody didn't. Like we are today, we shouldn't have no excuse. It's a Bible in every household. If you black and you grew up in the church like most black people do, it's a Bible in that household. I don't care what version it is, it's going to say the same thing. Well, Salakia, some of these versions, I ain't going to lie, some of these versions,
they're not the same.
Some of these versions is off. It's a version that tell you straight up, Yahushua cleansed all foods. I'm like, what? But the majority of the time, the commandments in there is the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not even that.
No, listen, the translation of the King James, what you'll find is with these other scriptures, with like the NIV, the New King James, of course, though, they'll start, making slight changes. 1 word, 2 word. And those 1 word, 2 word changes, will say, instead of saying Israel, it'll say all people, right? And instead it'll say, something about it'll switch it over to women, right? So the King James Version is the translation, that comes, as close without you knowing the actual Hebrew, without you actually picking up the Hebrew, reading, the Torah, reading the Tanakh, of course, though, reading, the ancient, the Greeks, without you reading that for what it is, that is the closest translations. The King James Version, the 1611, of course, though, which includes the Apocrypha, of course, though, the books that they tried to hide, from us because of the history that was in it, though. So those changes, that's why we only read, King James Version, because what he did was he hired scholars to translate it. That's what he did. He hired scholars to translate, and there wasn't, an agenda behind the translation other than give it to the people, make it available to the people. Why is the only people that has this, are those that are in power, right? Okay, well, what should we do? We'll go and convene on, what we should do. And then when you actually got the Bible, you start reading the laws and say, oh, that's not, It confounded people with things like he without sin cast the first stone. Because people start looking at it as like, well, I guess, nobody's supposed to get punished then, right? Because we all sin. So you can't judge me. You can't judge me. You can't judge me. Nobody's judging you, though. But you still got to be accountable for, the wrongdoings that you've done, for your transgressions and your sin. And we'll often let that go way above our head. It's a scapegoat. So those NIVs, King James Version, that's it.
He right, though. He right. I stand corrected. Them translations, I know a few, though. I ain't gonna lie. Them translations is all, and he correct about this. They have changed from Israel to all people. So stick within the KJV, but it's Bibles all throughout and we just won't read it. We won't read it. Like I had a Bible in prison. I had a Bible that went my whole bed with me. I still got it to this day. And it was the Bible that I actually went through one time. And believe it or not, I went through the Bible one time and I said, I know for a fact I can find out who we are in this Bible. I kid you no lie, man. I was going through Transit through Elmira. I'm like, I know. And I was going through the Old Testament where it gave out the Hittites, the Jebusites, all them nations. I'm like, I know I can find. It's something in here that could help me find which one of these little tribes we is. And I always thought we were a heathen, bro. Always. I always did, man. And I shut the book up. Then I started picking up other books. Because I couldn't do it. I let myself down. And then when I talked to my man and he said, we the Israelites, I'm like, show me. I said, well, you an Israelite. I'm like, I don't know who I am. I'm still trying to figure that out. And when I find out, I'm going to let you know because I'm on an intense research for it. And he kept telling me the scriptures. And I'm like, maybe he's right. And I was so confounded because I had this book the whole time. And I read over it. I read over all the important scriptures that link us to Israel. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows you that even having the book, you still need to dig into it and really read it. Or just listen to your brother. Because I wouldn't listen to him for nothing. And this is how I damn near came to the truth. Because I was battling him on everything. Like Cap said, okay, he got me with the weird Israel thing. All right. Now he's talking about this law stuff. Because that's the next thing I hit him with. The law is done away. We can't keep the law. It's too many commandments. Battling on this. Battling on that law. Boom. I called my Ak up. I said, man, let me pull up on me real quick, man. We got to go over some things real fast, man. I'm like, they saying we Israel, all this stuff we learned in church is wrong. And I'm really realizing, like, hold on, he was right. And that's brotherhood right there. Just correct your brother. Tell him, yo, you wrong. I got all these books. He had one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, okay. But to be able to listen to your brother and say, you know what? Like you said, we don't want to be judged because Christianity taught us, he's who I was saying, throw the first stone. But it's not about judgment. More so it's about us as a nation and loving each other. Because if you truly love your brother, you wouldn't want him to break the law, knowing what comes with it. Like, we know what comes with it firsthand. Why would you allow him to break the law? Murder, kill, commit adultery. You know what I'm saying? We would want to come in and step up and say, you know what? Nah, They said the little homie stood in the doorway with the grip for like 4 or 5 minutes, watched the whole argument. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he started swinging on him, he started letting off. And it was like nobody gonna come and say, yo, chill. Her son at the door right now with a gun. Nobody gonna step up and say and correct the situation. We're gonna wait till it to happen, and then now everybody got an opinion. So the thing about taking sin away from Israel is you have to deal with what happened and then go forward from that. Like, you can't just wait till something happens, because we're no different than the police. If that's the case, that's all the police do. Wait for something to happen and then come. But in that meantime, ain't nobody changing. They just wait. They know we're not changing. That's why they just wait for the call. Yep, shooting over here, go over here. It's to the point where they just picking up shells. They picking up shells, and then they're getting a gun trail. Okay, this shooting was over here, this shooting was over here, this shooting was over here. And then, hey, they're doing it to themselves. They keeping us occupied, but we're going to sit back and wait for the crime to stop. But we should be trying to teach the people so crime shouldn't happen anyways. Because believe it or not, crime isn't our culture. Crime is not our culture. We are not criminals. They are criminals. We learned that from them. Back to what I was saying earlier about the kidnapper and the kidnap. Once you've been around a group of people for so long, you like their traits. They raise you, you become just like them. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to be away from them. You want to be more affiliated with them. And then what'll happen is the person that grow up and end up doing the same thing to somebody else. This is why people that grow up molested end up molesting. Because the trauma, they never knew how to deal with it. They'll end up doing it, self-consciously or consciously, whatever. Even like with murderers and stuff like that, they sit there and idolize them serial killers and stuff like that. It's probably Edomites right now want to be like Jeffrey Dahmer. It's probably Edomites right now. I wonder how my dad was almost like that, not really bad, but okay. And they'll end up doing it. And it just shows you the place we're in, because we'll publicize that. I couldn't watch it. I seen one episode. I said, I'm not watching that. But why would you make a person like this any type of star? Why would you even reenact? It just shows you the wickedness in this place. Why would you even reenact that? And he was killing a lot of Israelites. I'm saying a lot of them people he was killing was Israelites, and he was eating them. And it was just like, why would you put this out there for the people to see? And our people loved it. Well,
This is LGBTQ,
yes.
whatever the heck you want to call it, Pride Month, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? What's so significant about what you bring up right now is that he was pursuing LGBTQ people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he would get his victims.
Mm-hmm.
He would go to the bar, right? And he would lurk and wait and watch and pretend, however he did it, of course, though. And he would stalk his prey, invite him back to the house, and then drug him.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking for a good time, that pleasure. It was wrong for them to be LGBTQ according to the scriptures in the first place. We'll see that in Romans. We'll see that, you know what I'm saying, in the Old Testament as well, too. Both the Old and the New Testament tells us, you know what I'm saying, how wrong it is, according to the Bible, according to the Most High, being LGBTQ is. Not nothing, it's not according to you, it's not according to me, according to the scriptures, in which they quote unquote put the Constitution. This is a Christian nation, is it not? And the victims of LGBTQ, which was our brothers and our sisters, not in spirit, of course, though, but of the flesh. Our brothers and sisters of the flesh, of course, though, was being what? Judged by whom?
By the Most High.
By the Most High.
And because that's one, we're not supposed to deal with the other nations. Two, you're not supposed to be sleeping man with man. Like that's so. And the scriptures say in the Romans that you're talking about, they received in themselves both recompense for that error, because that is an error. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you will see them fatally killed or something wrong with them. A lot of ones that get to change, when they grow up, they commit suicide. A lot of things end up bad for them, and they call it an attack. But like we just went up and did all types of interviews. We did about 10 interviews, and every single interviewer said that's them. They feel like they should be able to do what they want to do. Like, man, let them do it. And you could tell they didn't agree with it, but they still have that ideology. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want to do. The Bible says the light, the law is light. Reproofs and instructions are a way of life. Not everybody just do what you want. And like I don't always bring it out, it's not according to me. I ain't just running it back and make a book and said, yo, this is that. He didn't write it. We just reading it and bringing it to the people.
Just saying heavy too, because you know, just from experience ourselves, most people that be like, yeah, let them do what they want to do. They're saying that because they want to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna say a person, even with the churches, they ain't gonna say, you're breaking the law. The majority of them is not following the law of the Most High either.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why you gotta be mindful of what we hear. When you come to Isupk, you got the outer ones. You know what I mean? Basically from the Command General Hunter on down, everybody coming to be corrected, saying, yo, I was doing this. Learning how to not do wrong. You know what I mean? If nobody gonna tell you how not to do wrong, it's because they're doing wrong as well.
I can't. And then they use certain precepts like, oh, you guilty of one, you guilty of them all. And you like, yo, man, listen, man. If you think that means that don't do the law at all, then come on. I think you're reading that. Like Paul said, I talk to those who know the law. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes things is hard to understand. But to them that know the law is not going to be done away with. Like, it's never going to be. It's up to us to either reject it and be out here in darkness or take this light and do it. You know what I'm saying? And be corrected. So right here is an instance for correction as well. Now, and that's another thing. They idolize and worship the apostles. Now, Yahushua was checking them. The whole time he was on the earth, he was checking them. Even after he left, the angels checked him. Why y'all staring up there, just looking up there? Go ahead about and do what y'all do. He's gonna be back like this. It was a constant checking, and they don't think that. Like even with the baptism, They was getting checked about that baptism. They was getting checked about all of this stuff. Peter was getting checked about eating with the Jews, and when the Gentiles, the really Israelites who didn't know, just came in, would come around, he'll move away, act funny, getting checked for that. So we got to also remember, no matter how great and mighty you are, because these are mighty men, I'm not taking it away from them, you still can be checked or corrected. And we call it check, but it's positive. You're being corrected. You know what I'm saying? So you can give me Matthew chapter 18, verse 21.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21.
Hold on, let me get it for the chat.
Guys, like if I could, while you grab that real quick.
Right.
One of the most important things that you said and mentioned earlier was in regards to, Will had this book, but yet you was getting the wrong information because you weren't being taught by your own. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? It says that our own, the prophet, you got to be taught by the prophets, of course, though. The spirit of the prophets shall be what? Unto the prophets. So, yes, we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, they have died in what? They have been resurrected again, and they are walking the earth, somewhere around here. The Most High is the God of the living, not the dead. You understand? We not out here, like these other groups saying, Commander Geniana is David reincarnated. No, we're not saying that at all. We don't know who is, where the prophets are today. But we know the prophet. When I say the prophets, we don't know, Elijah. We don't know, Matthew, Mark. We don't know where they at today, of course, though. But we know they walk the earth somewhere. And for you to get this correct information, you have to be taught by, the prophets, those that have been chosen by the Most High.
Yep. And we'll get that after that. That's Hebrews chapter 5. That's one of the principles of the oracles of the Most High, to be taught again. You know what I'm saying? That's what the whole born again process is. You can call it out when you got a Bible shot.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. More Akians or Aquafians have it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times.
Go ahead, read it again, Bible shot. So slide.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
So this is an instance where Peter is asking him, so listen, how often shall my brother sin against me and I correct him? 7 times? He basically trying to give out the answer. Because it was said before 7 times, and that's like dealing with each other. So he thinking, all right, boom. After this 7th time, can I cut him off? And so do I have to keep, do I have to keep trying to put up with him? Because that's another thing we do in the community too. We hold things against each other. And it's so bad, we don't not only hold things against each other, we hold things against each other's family. So it's like, oh, he's one of the Johnsons. Yeah. I already knew they was wicked. Or even different churches. I got people in my family that grew up in my church, and they left the church. People who left the church and went to another church and became enemies to everybody else that was at that church. Oh yeah, we don't like them because they left. And sometimes when the kids grow up, they never even know each other. They don't even know each other. They just know that it's a grudge. So now something happened to such and such. They don't feel like they need any justice. They don't feel like we're family. They don't feel like we're all one. A lot of us is really out for self. A lot of us don't want to even lend an open hand. And I was telling my grandma this the other day about the church, because she liked to big up the church, and I just like to tell her, where is the church when all these we getting murdered? I'm not talking about at the funeral saying no feel good speech or message that's inaccurate and not according to the scriptures. I'm talking about where are they at when we're getting killed? Where are they at to prevent it? Like I was saying earlier, not like police, wait till the call. Where are you at to put in the work so it won't happen? because in every hood you got a church. And it's like, okay, if the church is in every hood, why these men at the church ain't going outside and telling these brothers, yo, you kill somebody, all right, we gonna deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Because only we could correct us. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even want to do nothing to people like you have a known, he got 3 or 4 of them. And he known for that. And they like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And Esau play a certain way with us. Like, they'll know you did something and won't arrest you because of the evidence or because of like certain things in the case or whatever, and they'll let you walk the earth knowing that you got 3 or 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll have a witness who really don't want to testify and they'll let you walk the earth. But the minute of the church, they letting you walk the earth too. They ain't coming out trying to fix the community, but they reaping all the benefits. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, yeah, nah, I get it. I understand that. But it's more of like everybody's personal decision to commit crime or not. I'm like, but being a man of the Lord and knowing the law to enforce it, don't you think that they would have enough power as far as money-wise to go out and do that? Because, man, listen, we go out to camp, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's the truth. We're not gonna bend down the truth for you. We're gonna tell you the truth. You can come shaking your head. You can walk away shaking your head. Like a sister came up to the crib and said, "That's wrong. I believe a woman's body is her own. My body, my choice." And the speaker is just blazing, blah, 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 blah. Nah, because we had a sign that says Planned Parenthood. And they got the abortion and all of, and you know the Bible say thou shalt not murder. Period. Thou shalt not murder. There ain't no stipulations. Don't kill a baby. Don't kill a grown-up. Don't kill an old person. Don't kill it. Let the Most High let the process go. And she didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? She was young. She probably like 13, 14, but she bucking up against it. We didn't say, okay, you know, you right, sister. You right. It is your choice. No. Go ahead. Push it. Like 10, not even a half hour later, another sister walked by. She got like 9 kids, and they all with her. And she see the sign, and she said, yeah, that's right, because I don't believe in abortion. I'm having every last one of mine. I don't care what they say. And we give a sister a hand. You know what I'm saying? We just gave her a hand, and we kept it pushing. And it's because, like, as a man of the Lord, you got to stand on these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to be checked. So what Peter is going right now to Yahushua is he's asking him, how often should I forgive my brother? You know what I'm saying? Read, finish it out.
Verse 22. Yahushua, Jesus, saith unto him, I say not unto thee, until 7 times.
So now he correcting me. Nah, I don't say till 7 times. You know what I'm saying? And that's important for us to know as well, though. Like, as far as like when it comes to right or wrong according to the scriptures, because like the little sis, she was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And she probably doesn't know that now, but she bumped into us, and now she's probably really starting to think about it. Because when you bump into the priests and prophets of the Most High, it's like almost like a life-changing moment. You're like, damn, these brothers. Bump into these brothers, you like, damn, some people just come out there and just listen. It's like, yeah, man, these brothers bringing out it seems weird, like we did. The light is bright at first until you in it for a minute. And then you start to be able to see it light up everything around you. You know what I'm saying? They start to be like, yeah, people ride by, beep, some people like, oh, y'all the Israelites? Okay, all right, beep. People get the flyers because at the end of the day, this truth ain't gonna change. My grandma said, her pastor had to marry 2 sodomites. And he didn't really want to do it, but by law, he had to do it. And she was like, you shouldn't have did it. You should have figured out a way to not do it. And he was trying to figure out a way to get out of it. And I was just telling her, see, these are the things that we were talking about. Because ain't no sodomites getting married in here. Go ahead.
It's so crazy because just by you saying that, it's like he could not do it, but it was painful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not people not willing to not accept, like when they say all money not good money.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't supposed to bend the law for them. You know what I mean? Because if he would have not did it, then the Most High got you. You know what I mean? He would be showing the people that, hey, we don't condone this. But how can you go up there and try to teach the Most High people.
Mhm.
You know, first you're trying to give it to all the heathens too, but you can't teach the Most High people if you're going to go out there and be and vote for somebody that says LGBT the alphabet.
Mhm.
Okay, it's all right, but like you said, the scriptures say, "Hey, man, should not live with men. We should all put women in parallel." You know what I mean? So when you're going against the law, you're not doing the Most High work.
Yeah, nah, kind, yeah. But
It also shows, you know what I'm saying, that they don't read this Bible. They don't know the Bible. Because the simple stance is to the scriptures. That's just out, period. There's no law that the man has passed, you know what I'm saying, that whatever oppressor has passed that forces us to break the law. And now he just showed and taught people, you know what I'm saying, that it's more important to obey what the man says than what the Bible says. You know what I'm saying? What happened to Daniel? Daniel was in the lion's den, right? If you want to get all Christian and whatever else, though, Daniel was in the lion's den. Why? Because he was told to do something. Or whatever it was. I don't remember slacking.
it was bowed down to the image.
Okay, there you go. He was told to do something, and he didn't. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. What happened to them? They were put in a fiery furnace, of course, though. And each and every single... Wait, what happened to John the Baptist?
Got his head chopped off.
Because he did what?
Because he was... What are you doing?
He did the exact same thing.
Oh, wasn't listening.
He broke the law. And when I say he broke the law, I mean is the same way the pastor went out and went against what the scripture says. John the Baptist said, "There shall come one whose shoes I am not worthy to fill," and he should have fell in line, in place, and he did. And he went on his own, just like, you know what I'm saying, these purple cats out here. They went out on their own, of course, though, because there was much polygamy. You understand? There was much polygamy in the ISUPK. You understand? Because that is how a nation is built. That is how a nation grows. Why? How? Through much polygamy. You understand? It says be fruitful and multiply. How can you be fruitful and multiply with two rods, you know what I'm saying, coming together? This is LGBT. This is Pride Month. We have pride, you know what I'm saying, for who we are as a people. We are not, you know, going to tarnish the sign that the Most High had left to remind us. We're not going to do that. It's like that. What was that? That song came always something there to do.
Yeah.
But this, you know what I'm saying, it's like, yeah, I'll be real quick, you know what I'm saying. But this is something that he should have leaned on. You know what I'm saying? Having that foundation. That what? There shall be no sodomite of the sons of Israel, no whore of the daughters of Israel. The law is not done away with, right? Because you don't know the Bible, you don't know the scriptures, because you don't have brotherhood. You understand? Just the same way that you came in here and you sat down in all black. Hey, Sly, yeah, you see the boots, man. That's not all black. Karawakan. And what you do? You came back in all black. Now you up here looking glorious. Get a brother here. You understand?
I'm saying credit. But yeah, nah, it's right, man. And it's always it's back to correction and instruction. It don't make you weak. Correction don't make you weak. It makes you strong. Doing whatever you want makes you weak because you're like a woman. A woman wants to do whatever she wants to do. But finish this scripture out real quick. I got one more precept, man. We're gonna end it with that.
Until 7 times. But until 70 times 7.
So yeah, I was trying checking Peter. Nah, it's not 7 times. I say 7 times 70. Now you gotta always it's never ending. 77 times, it's never ending. You're gonna always have to forgive your brother. Because what was going on here is a lot of people was respected persons going on. A lot of people was looking. You ever heard a brother will look for an excuse, a reason for you to not mess with you no more, a reason that you did something to him to cut you off. So you gotta understand that correction has always been a way of life for us, man. Always, from the old to the new. You give me Hebrews chapter 5. Hebrews chapter 5, and this like the other one was saying, like It's important that we have to be civilized. And when I say civilized, I mean education. And when I say education, I mean by the book, the law, the book, and the prophets be teaching you it. That way, you can be educated in the law of the Lord. Now nobody can't come up to you with an NIV and say, see, it say all fools was purged clean. You know what I'm saying? They can't get you like that. Because at the end of the day, it's detrimental to you. Verse 12.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12.
1 second. Get it for the chat. But
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. You want Akim to walk from his house?
go ahead, you can read it for time's sake.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers.
For when the time you at what?
Ought to be teachers.
Go ahead.
Ye have need that one teach you again.
No, you teach yourself.
You have need that one teach you again.
No, you talk to God on your own.
You have need that one teach you again.
You have to have need. It's necessity. It is important. Matter of fact, you have to be taught. That's the number one thing. You have to be. Because if you are not taught, you're going to lean on your own understanding. This is all the harmonizing of the Bible. You lean on your own understanding, vice versa, what the scriptures actually saying. Now, if you want to be a teacher, start that precept from the top.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. And the oracles of the Most High is the Bible. It's the Bible. It's the word of God. Oracle means word or vision or seeing. Now, we was at the Jazz Fest passing out flyers doing the work of the Lord, and we battling a Edomite, and a brother came up. Mind you, he had work clothes. He ain't in the school, but he see us battling, and now he want to be a teacher. Now he coming in pressing the Edomite. Well, what about who Christ came for? He ain't hitting them with all things like the milk scriptures. Who Christ died for. The commandments done away with. And they're like, the commandments. He said, they done away with the commandments. And I'm just sitting here, me and Kat, we just looking like, because now everybody want to be a teacher. That's one thing they will do. We get on that internet, and we watch a couple videos, a couple classes, and now we want to go out and teach. But that's not the principles or the oracles of the Most High. Somebody have to teach you. And teaching goes into, like the scriptures say. Like Elijah taught Elisha. He didn't watch a couple videos of Elijah. He was with him. He was with him in the ministry. He was under his wing. He watched everything that went down. He watched them call the orders. He watched the prophets be under him, because the prophets rolled together. Like the prophets rolled together. It wasn't just one prophet in the wilderness with a stick and a long, dirty robe. Nah, it was like school. Teachers together. And it always like that in the New Testament too. That's why I said it was teachers or preachers and prophets in the churches. It was called Niger. It was multiple of them. You know what I'm saying? We always roll together like that, but you have to come in and get under somebody. You can't be at the crib. Not to say that it ain't a walking step to where you come to the doors, but this is the principles of the oracles of the Most High. Read.
And are become such as have need of milk.
And have need of what?
Have need of milk.
And now you need the basics. Come learn, get up under somebody, learn, get up in the Isupk, like the Ottoman said, all black. Nah, no, don't do that. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because I was one of those dudes, you can't tell me nothing. I'm going to keep it real. Like, oh, that was me. I felt like I knew it all. I felt like I did this, I had that, I knew this, I knew that, I didn't. And it really broke me down as a man and built me back up as a man. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought listening to other people made you weak, but it makes you strong. Like Captain Cesariak said, man, I'm a man of orders. I follow orders. Like, that's what makes you strong, to follow orders. Just think about the top military generals in the military. He followed orders. That's a bad man there. That's a bad man. Nations fear him, but he followed them orders. And that's the thing that's why we go to the military, to try to get taught how to be a man, because we don't know how to be a man in the streets. Ain't no orders. They ain't got to give none. Ain't nobody giving none. Not no righteous orders. You know what I'm saying? Not no, this is against the Most High. This is against the Most High. Nope, this is not, nope, we don't do this. Nope, we don't do that. This is why we don't do that. Because of this. All over again. You know what I'm saying? To the point where now I'm here, I had dreads. They on the floor. They was on the floor somewhere. After so many times coming, they gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I got the braids in. But it's just like simple as like just being able to listen to each other. Because Jake killed me with this. We will not listen to each other, but go to prison. Go to school. Go to your slave. You gonna listen to somebody. Ain't nobody just doing nothing that they want to do. So you might as well just take the pride out of the way, humble down, and then you will truly be able to learn the milk. So I need a milk. Read.
And not of strong meat.
And not of strong meat. Not of that. You ain't got to worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Keep it strictly on the milk. Brotherhood is a weapon. That's milk. Worry about that first. Yahweh said, for all the commandments in the law, hang on this. Love thy brother as thyself. Saying, and that's what we got to do. And that's what we're here to teach too as well and show, because we do it with each other. The fake Israelites mad because we do it with each other and don't do it with them. But the scriptures say do it amongst each other. This is how you will know that you my disciples. Once you love one another. You know what I'm saying? And it starts here. How can we love anybody out here if we can't love nobody in here? It's steps. It's steps. But with that, Shalom. I'll pass the class to Priest and Officer Sabiyah. Wrap it up.
Right. This is the security announcements. We are the Isupk started of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the leadership of Commanding General Yohana, root for new brother and sister. When the new brother or sister come to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offered for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation. And then we got the Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets, September 23rd. You know, that's a Holy Convocation as well. Sabbath service on Saturdays. And we get together and learn how to conduct ourselves, learn the laws, learn the Lashwan Kodash, all that. It's not a Holy Convocation, but you got the annual cookouts coming up. First one is Midwest. And I believe the second one is the headquarters. Then they got one going on in Florida. One going to be in the UK. You know, all the Akians, all the Akwafians getting together, you know, and actually showing brotherhood. Check anything else, check the back bulletin board. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. That module? Sorry to the brothers. Module? Amon Shabbat, Amazim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam. Sorry to the sisters. Amazim, Amon Shabbat, Amazim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's just much.